breach and raise, having those nades landing at the perfect time to get like the amount of multi-frags we even saw. So they have had to switch up the way they play this map because they don't actually have that anymore. On the other side of things, for Mech, well, because they're no longer going into like a third map or even picking this map, they actually now start on the attacking side. And it was their defense, which I think was definitely the shakier of the two. So realistically, we're looking at them to get off to a good start here.
Now, while this pistol round could be instrumental in that, you can already see aggression out of FNATIC. Look at where Dirk is, pushed all the way through Dish. Great control, and that might just catch Chronicle off guard if he starts to move back away from that B site. Mech definitely spread out right now, looking to catch any aggression out of FNATIC, and well, it's just going to be a waiting game until they decide, by the looks of it, to move back to this A side, and that's when Dirk is going to have the opportunity to strike and maybe take a couple of heads, if they do go back there.
Yeah, right now at least, it seems like FNATIC have got everything covered though. Like the Dish push, they've got the stack up on the B site, and then you've obviously got Magnum on that Cypher, getting them information in the other direction. So their actual read on the scenario is very, very good just because of that map control. And because there's no default for Mech, they're kind of pushing into this one dry because they haven't spotted those players getting information on the other side of the map. And now, well, they're going to start making their way towards B, where the majority of players are.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of utility here to slow them down, or at least to attempt to do so. Perfect stun onto Chronicle connected. Brave doing a good job up above with that utility, allowing Boaster to pick up that double as they move towards the site. Mech's numbers are just thinning out. And although Brave eventually falls, it's a 4v2. This retake should be easy for FNATIC to connect.
Yeah, you'd have to be a little bit disappointed if they weren't able to get something done here. Redgar, he's been given a fight, but doesn't actually find anything from it. And now it's left all onto Nats. He's pretty damn good in these scenarios. Already on for the ace, needing 2 more and trying to isolate one of these duels. But Mystic will put him down before he gets too dangerous. I'll say too dangerous because it already was dangerous.
Yeah, even when he's got 3 HP, you can't be counting him out of those kind of clutches. But 1-0, we go to FNATIC as they pick up this opening round, and we said, you know, their defensive side, getting that pistol under their belt, it's exactly what they wanted to see. They've got that little bit of aggression out on A Dish already. We've not seen any of that Cypher setup on A spotted out by Mech. So I think that this round is going to be very much information gathering for this attacking side. You're going to try to win, and by the looks of it, they're going to group up and push together. But if they can come out of this with a decent understanding of how FNATIC want to use their defensive side, that could be decent. Unfortunately,
look at the
think they're going to end up... Well, I think they're going to get naded at the start of this. There's a lot of players here for FNATIC. 3 inside the halls, and they're going to catch the spike right away. Oh, that's a heartbreak.
Oh, yeah, that's rough. The whole plan is to try and wrap back around and catch these players off, and now they have to start battling for the spike. They do at least manage to find themselves a kill, actually get a second as well. This was looking done in the early stages of this round, but fighting it back into a 3v3, it makes it dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, are they aware of that little corner by Magnum? They are now. First kill already found, a good headshot, but I mean, they're still keeping this reasonably alive over on the Mech side. The rotation possible. Gonna have heals coming back online for Shados, what, a minute on the clock? So he can definitely get Defo back up to full. And then there really is a fight on their hands. This is a good opportunity for Boaster if he can catch them before that heal goes down and the reset comes through. But you don't want to keep pushing all the way into the spawn and give them these duels and those free advantages. So instead, it looks like FNATIC, oh, they were going to freeze. But as time ticks on, Boaster's moving forward and he'll get him. Shados down, Defo low. This round should be saved for FNATIC.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, saved. I think that's the right word because it's still not a good one. They're not going to be happy with it, especially for the investment into Mech. It was mostly Frenzies, which is not a particularly expensive pistol. A little bit of shields and obviously a stim because, well, that's the meta we're in right now. We're in the stimmy meta. Can't definitely get anything more though. Even one more kill here would be pretty atrocious for FNATIC in a round like this. 5 HP, and it still comes a little bit too close. But they do convert themselves to second round. My main intrigue now, Mitch, will be, is this going to be played as a pure bonus for FNATIC, or are they going to take some risks and invest themselves?
Well, I mean, that's the question. You know, when you come to a round like this with 2 players surviving, it's tough to really look at that and say, hey, let's play a bonus out of that. Maybe if you've got some pistols to back it up, like some sheriffs especially, but I'm looking at this investment, and yeah, they're splashing a lot of the cash, but it still hasn't gotten them that comfortable of a buy. Only 2 players have cash for the next round on the Fnatic side, and even then, that's a little bit questionable. And the advantages that come in, they still have 3 Spectres to play with, and they've lost the opening duel. And this is a crushing start, because with Durka down and Brave following, they're only left with these 3 Spectres now to try and recover this round.
Yeah, it looked a little disjointed. Like the fault line hit after the player was already dead, and at that point, you could just tuck into the corner for Chronicle. He's also probably the last player on this. Well, I guess there's a lot of players you don't want to be challenging, but with his form at the moment, I don't think you want to be going anywhere near him. So a fantastic start to the round. Also, the problem with this map in general, and the reason I think it works so well for Mech on the attack, is you can't sit still on that defensive side. There's too many angles to cover. You have to try and be proactive. So for one of the best defaulting teams in the world, this map on the attack was almost designed for them. For now, though, they're going to start pushing their way back towards the A site, and to be fair to Fnatic, they do have the majority of their players here.
Yeah, the stack up is there, gives them the best chance of success, but even then, you're going to see some of these duels be very difficult on range. Defo is dropped to start with, and, well, Chronicle's gone as well. This is looking reasonable for Fnatic with just Spectres. Magnum's even coming up behind now, upgrading to a rifle, but he'll be dealt with, leaving it all into the hands of Boaster. Look, it was a tough clutch to win out. Fnatic will lose this round, and they came in with weaker weapons. So at the end of the day, the fact that they got out with 3 kills in that 3v5, yeah, you can be pretty happy with that. Unfortunately, it doesn't do a lot to soften the blow of what they're left with, which is this, you know, barely any credits to work with. This is a second round for Mech, unless they massively mess it up.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, if that was a bonus and you were playing with the Spectres you saved from the round before, that's a great round. Like, you've done reasonably well. You've taken a lot of players with you. But because they're now coming in with an eco, this is a chance for Mech to really build into things. And one of the main troubles, especially with this current, like, Brimstone iteration, as I said, you have to try and be proactive. You have to try and get information early. But even still, like, for Mech, what they do a lot of the time, play that clock late and then just burst into a site at super speed. And, especially with the upping of the pace of the smokes landing for Brim as well, it makes it so tough for you to actually predict where this take is going to be in before they're already basically in your face. So I'm mainly going to be watching how teams actually play the defensive side of this map, because I feel like, especially in this current meta, it should lean quite heavily into the attack.
There's so much risk reward when it comes to the defensive side because of that aggression that you have to come out with. Yeah, I think it's really tough for to calculate. Wow, when it's worth taking that risk. Oh my God, Defo's on the site. And you know, sometimes I'd be behind that play. Hell, if this guy's got a Spectre, sure, but they're versus pistols and they make that. Well, now a rifle in the hands of Magnum is the main threat. Having been recovered from Defo's corpse, and he'll do well, at least finding the first on that. And SHEDULES eventually dealing with him. It's rid of any sort of risk that's left over. A little bit of damage for Fnatic, but ultimately that could have been a lot scarier with the way it started out.
Yeah, 2 guns dropped and also baiting out a Rolling Thunder. Like, not that bad for Fnatic. Still, Mech going to be happy with that. They'll start building up a little bit of economy as well behind them. And now we actually start to look, okay, what are Fnatic going to do in this round? Because they've got 3 ultimates online. 2, I would say, are particularly impactful, with Boaster being able to lock down some specific angles on the map and maybe a bit of aggression out from Durka as well. So this is where I think Fnatic really do have a strong opportunity to steal themselves around. And already you can see just with how deep some of this utility is being placed, they are trying to hold back or almost fake information to their opponent, because right now there's no one there for Fnatic. Unfortunately, Mitch, they're up against Defo, and I don't think he cares. He just walked through that smoke.
Yeah, sometimes you got to play confident. I like that. Over on the Fnatic side, certainly taking it passive in the same way that they did. It's essentially the same setup as the pistol round, slightly less aggression out of Durka, but
slightly.
This is slightly, yeah. But this is exactly what Fnatic will I guess, rinse and repeat. It's been working in the pistol. Now with rifles in the hands of... Oh, Mech Boaster almost lost his life to that one. Oh, the nade is great! No. He actually got out of there. He survived up above. Step heard, they know that Brave is here. There's bullets everywhere. And as they go up, he's still in the corner. Oh, they're going to be so mad they tried to clear it. 2 quick kills for Fnatic. The advantage firmly theirs and locked in even further with Magnum's quick connection. Look at Redgar's health. SHEDULES is the only one that can do anything in this round. 1 kill away from the res, and he gets the res online. Unfortunately, it's at the cost of his life. And Redgar, as we said, you know, his health ain't too strong. His chances of winning this round even weaker. Oh, well.
Okay, I swear to God, this was like some Final Destination level stuff there for Boaster, where he must have seen his own death and managed to dodge everything. He got aftershocked into a nade, which he survived, after jump peeking. He then gets orbital striked, runs at them behind his own smoke, as you can see here, and still survives. There's no way he should have managed to stay alive in this round, and they definitely, it didn't seem like they should have won it flawlessly, so... Hey, that's an incredible bounce back from FNATIC, and again, quite a lot used in that scenario. Like all the utility just granting them absolutely nothing. In fact, I think the only damage he really took was from the jump peak at the beginning.
Yeah, well, that was a lot of damage, to be fair. I think it was over 100. And he's just lucky to get out of there alive, as we said. Chronicles on the ropes, but literally on his way back. Nats is pushing up here, maybe sensing that there's a little bit of space. I'm not sure that reads exactly on. The poison orb seems to have deterred him, but now he's being caught in the open. Nice little jump peek by FNATIC. It was Boaster catching that information, but it actually plays against them in this round. They see that player outside B. They maybe think that they're setting up for something. But you know what, Tom? That was Nats that you saw. That was the lurker. That was the guy who wants to take that space and wreck you. Mech are walking right into the A side, and they'll have this one, I mean, more or less for free.
Yeah, it does, however, look like FNATIC are just going to try and hold on to all the extremities and play this one as a retake. Again, they've still got a fair few ultimates online. They're 1 orb apiece away on Mystic and Brave, having some pretty impactful ults as well. And okay, it took them a little longer than maybe I expected to get into that spot, but I don't think this is going to be as easy as you might think it will be for Mech.
What are you waiting for over on FNATIC? They haven't activated that cam just yet. There's clearly a plan for using this cam just as they go in for the execute. Magnum is starting to close in the distance, and I almost feel like this is to spot out a player. Maybe it's for the showstopper to allow that ult to go down for a nade or something. There we go. Showstopper used, and it takes down Redgar. Molly already on the spike. A time delay strategy not even working out. It's being diffused halfway already. Mystic and Durka with 2 quick kills, and it's FNATIC's round easily. Oh, Mech are locked out. They can't even peek towards main with that orbital strike. Gorgeous play from FNATIC.
4 rounds the previous time. They had 3 rounds versus FPX as well. So they want the lion's share of their rounds to be on that attack. And right now it's not looking great.
And it's fine if you lose the pistol, right? You fall behind a little bit, but like that round right there told me FNATIC are in control. And not only was it the utility they used and how they did it, I think we've very much covered the point that that was a beautiful retake, but it's in the fact that of when they do it and how much they decide to commit. They use 2 ultis, sure, costly, right? Orbital strike, showstopper, those are big ultis to use, but when you consider where Mech's economy is at, it's worthwhile. Confirm that round, break their money, leave 3 players with weaker weapons coming into this one, and still have their Rolling Thunder basically online and a Viper's Pit to play with as well. I mean, that is perfect, and especially if you look at FNATIC as wanting to play retakes, Viper's Pit retake A, Rolling Thunder retake A, those are perfect ultis to have for that kind of control. Now, FNATIC's plan is retake A. It's what they're doing every round. Look at Durka again, having pushed up through Dish, seeing that that's clear, nobody outside B. They're about to realize that this side of B is clear, and so everybody can be looking at that choke point. The only thing I think is that Nats is underground, right? So he's swapping around. Oh no, Boaster down, showstopper used for space, and it's gonna catch Brave App. All right, good setup by FNATIC, good early round, but Mech have dealt with it perfectly.
Yeah, that jump spot has been incredibly risky a couple of times. You've also got the Sage Wall now allowing for this cross into the site, and you mentioned those ults. Well, both of them have been diminished here. It's going to come down to raw battles. Luckily, they do have Durka on side, but Chronicle is very, very quick to trade that one back and leave it into a 2 versus 3. Magnum's taking quite a bit of space here. He's going to get 1 for free at least, probably knowing that he's isolated on 2 different accounts, and well, now it's all on to Mystic.
Really tough with no utility to play with here. Even a smoke, your molly, anything. One player was peeking. He's trying to catch a bullet or 2. I like that target selection. Oh, he baits Chronicle perfectly. There's the tap now as he steps up close, and Defo goes down. The head connected through the wall. Mystic has got this round in the bag. What an absolutely gorgeous clutch.
I won't lie, it took my brain way too long to realize he got that final kill, because I was like, well, there's no way he's just shot 2 bullets at a wall and managed to headshot him through it. That's disgusting. And again, like, considering that round in general, like, Mech did incredibly well. Like, they were walking into basically a trap. All the information was there. They even had themselves a 2v1 after plant with a perfect crossfire. There's not much you can do about that, though.
Oh, it's so nasty, dude. Yeah, his peak was perfect. I don't think Defco did anything wrong there. And he just gets absolutely body slammed for it. And that was an expensive round for Mech. They put a lot of ults into it. And the reason that that expense matters so much is because they lost it. All right, like, FNATIC can invest what they did and get away with it. And here's Mech going in for a little bit more with the rifles in hand. They've lost Defo. Even stunned up. Boaster gets away with 3. The stim on the floor gives him the extra speed. And that's all he needs. Redgar trying to fight his way through main, and he is having a tough enough job. But Nats on a clutch. This round is FNATIC's yet again, surely locked in. And Tom, oh man, Mech invest heavily. They have a good game plan, but geez, what do you do when you run into that?
It's unfortunate. It's one of the reasons I feel like the value of that Rolling Thunder might not be as high as people think it is, but it still takes extreme accuracy out of Boaster and even a little bit of help from the stim to just make sure that he met. Well, to get 3 there is unbelievable. Like, again, the actual setup, the play, the change of pace from Mech, I like all of it. It's just that moment where Boaster manages to get a multi-frag that there's not much you can do about it. And you can see how much respect they're paying to Nats. I feel like so many people have been punished by not doing this in the past. They're just using utility to slow him down. He still manages to get 1, but the remaining 3 players are all surrounding the spike, and he has no time.
15 seconds, yeah, there just is not enough time to catch all those players who would have been hiding away in the corners. You know, you see it there in why you have to give a player like Nats especially that respect. The fact that he still wins that after FNATIC avoid fight after fight, they're baiting him out, just grabbing the information. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm with you.
Let's be honest. Like, who would you rather fight, Boaster or Sue? Like, I reckon, like, maybe I could take Boaster. I can't take Sue. I think she'd beat the crap out of me.
Yeah, that's a safe call. A safe call. I'll vote for Boaster on it as well. That said, I think they both beat me. That's the problem. I think it's who would you rather lose to is what you're asking me. Quick nade going out. Durka not able to escape. Okay, hunted down by the pistols. That's already going to be an upgrade for them. This is not a bad start for the attacking side. And FNATIC, you know, a lot of these rounds have relied on that early aggression towards Dish. I think that's I'm not sure if it's a great read by Mech or if they just decided to go fight Dish this round. Either way, good call.
Well, this is something that they do a lot as well. They're going to fight Dish tooth and nail when they're on their defensive side. And I'll be honest, when we saw it in their previous match, it didn't look great. Didn't go very well. So yeah, the fact that FNATIC have got away with so many rounds of Durka pushing that for free, I think it's just the fact that in the last attempt, that Durka caught them in the back. So they know that he's had to push this quite regularly. And now they've slowed right down. The problem is, again, like FNATIC are almost like a push and pull. They've lost one portion of the map. They pushed all the way down another. The problem is it is still going to end up as a retake because, again, there is no one on this A site.
This could be kind of nasty with Chronicle still lurking around here.
Spike planted.
You know, these guys are so focused on trying to make it over the trap wire. Yeah, they have no idea that this player sat there and a double kill comes out of it. Oh, it's as good as it possibly could have been. Mech have another little flank play coming through. Defo hiding behind the boxes. And he'll get away with a double as well. Unreasonable behavior. Mech are right back on the board. That's the kind of round you need to throw you back into the map.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much effect their pause had on that round because I don't think anybody had that one planned in the strat book. Just and just like, yeah, so this is the round where you kill everyone with pistols, and they're like, I remember that one. But
you know,
no.
At the same time, I'll say it's been passive play on A, right? They've been playing retake, they've been pushing Dish. I don't know if Mech had a read on that, but they definitely played perfectly against it there, whether it was by chance or not. Oh, that's a great stun. Oh, they're after it. They're pursuing this. The wall has actually saved them. All right, okay, well played, SHEDULES. That was a quick calculation.
Yeah, he has some pretty decent walls. I don't know if that one, again, is something he's ever planned to do before.
Oh, no, he's been practicing this on the server for hours.
Oh, really? Has he?
Yeah.
Okay. He's put in the wall DM, whatever that means. But they are going to get themselves a res, and actually, Dirk's not going to be able to get anything from it. Having to fall back, Brave alongside him, and actually there's now going to be a fast rotation. This time, though, it looks like they're almost set up for a retake B with just Magnum holding onto that cross.
I tell you what, another MVP coming in for SHEDULES. That wall just saved Redgar's life. He got headshot. Oh, well, he's dead now. I'll tell you that for sure. Magnum's just taking a double. Here comes the reveal as well. Oh, this is dangerous. He's going to be able to spray on through. Chronicle. He survives for a moment. For a moment. And then a showstopper comes after them. And Durka finishes out the round with the triple. You know what? I think there came a point on that retake where FNATIC went, you know what? I'm just going to make sure we win this. They were not taking any risks.
I love the fact that Magnum manages to see people through the smokes before he's actually used his ultimate. That's the most impressive thing to me, because I don't know how he gets 2 from that one. Okay, like you hear some sounds, you go for a little spray, but to get 2 is, I think it's unfortunate for Mech, because they did manage to stabilize after what was a pretty unfortunate start to the round with just that combination. And that's one of the things we've credited Brave AF so much for in this team, is that he was brought in almost to pocket Durka. He's done that and a hell of a lot more.
I think one of the most impressive new players we have in the VCT scene for sure is Brave AF. We heard the rumors. You know, I love that about FNATIC. They get a player like Durka. I think they did the same with Brave, where you hear these rumors, you're like, oh, this guy's supposed to be pretty good. Supposed to be a decent player to watch. And the best thing is, you know, then you hear from FNATIC, well, what was the best thing about Brave? Apparently it was that he can learn a lineup. You know, it's like, so I didn't have high expectations. You know, when someone compliments a player on learning a lineup, I think that's probably the worst player I've ever seen, if that's what they need a compliment on. But Brave's been disgusting. They downplayed that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm starting, like, I always had trust issues with Angel when he did interviews. I'm starting to get that with Mini as well. I feel like he just underplays everything. Oh, yeah, he's not bad. It's one of the options we had. He's going to be pretty good. And then it's just like, yeah, we're 5-0 now. And we're currently 7-3 up versus Mech. Again, no surprise. It's going to be the push into the A side. Now, the tough thing here is that they don't currently have control of main. In fact, FNATIC have decided to double up, but they've managed to kill off Boaster. That's pretty impactful.
Pretty big start indeed. Look at that push through the smoke as well. Durka had nothing to say about that. For FNATIC, you're probably starting to float the word save around. If it wasn't this late on into the game, you're diving on this one. The kills, well, not going their way whatsoever. That is a dominant round coming out of the attack side of M3C. A 4th locked in for them. And again, it comes on the back of just exploiting this A side. It seems that the weakness there has been, or the retake rather, has been spotted by Mech, and I think they like taking that space early. I'm surprised though to start out this final round, Tom. It looks like the exact same setup from FNATIC, or another iteration of it, but similar.
The thing is, I actually like the setup. I don't think was actually the problem. I think it was just Mech's mid-round. Like that re-aggression to take control of the spawn, that's it done. Like you've cut off any of the remaining players. You've left main as like the only spot that they have. It's just that mid-round that I think actually changes things from working. Other than that, these A-site retakes have been pretty back and forth. And considering that, I would say that's not normally a case on this map. Like retaking is normally incredibly difficult. I don't think FNATIC mind that being more of a 50-50.
Careful now.
Second trap wire gonna catch SHEDULES. Yeah, you can just delete the first one, but Magnum is ready for it. He's inside the smoke. Chronicle's making some risky plays here. I can appreciate it though. Doesn't seem to be working out. FNATIC gonna mount the retake. 3 players left to deal with. Rolling Thunder put out, but Durka is still able to watch the cross. Great repositioning from him on towards main. And wow, that is an ambitious attempt. Redgar is gonna take a lot from that. 2 kills already, hiding on the back of the site. He opens up another avenue of attack. Gotta try to stay alive, run this clock down as much as possible. He's got the crossfire from his teammate, and this should be it. Oh, he's in the smoke! What a ludicrous play by Redgar. The defuse underway, and that stops it. And just in time. I don't think they've got this one.
No,
they don't.
Not even close. Yeah, I will slightly question what Ducker was hoping to do there. Like, crazy. I want to know the level of confidence that man has to have where he goes, I know there's a guy there, I'm gonna dive in. I do think part of it was maybe slight mistiming. I think they were gonna put in an orbital strike and he was expecting that person to have to be forced forward or hear him coming and then get killed by the orbital strike anyway, and then they would have still kept the advantage. The problem though is that, well, I think Redguard comes out with 2 kills from that, and that completely turns around on its head. Whereas you kind of look at that, if he stays passive, orbital strike drops, they're either going to walk backwards, give up the space, or walk into his crosshair. So maybe a misplay, but even still, 7 rounds on that defensive side, when we know that Mech are much, much better on the attack, that's pretty damn good for FNATIC. Now we have to see what they've got.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is a good half coming out of them. Could have been better. There's an opportunity for Mech to continue the attack side. At least that's what they think. They're running it down. 3 players inside of the spawn. In fact, you'd be forgiven for thinking FNATIC were the defenders here. There's only 1 guy on site, and that's Nats. He hasn't been caught. They're not going to push up on the back of it. In fact, Flank applying a lot more pressure than I think they realize. The whole team turns around, pops their utility on Defo. Now they look to deal with Nats. But that is a tougher task than it might seem. He's still alive on the site and still claiming bodies. No one's able to deal with this guy. And now they're trapped inside of main. They've got to push forward or back, make a decision. And it's away from Nats. That's what Boaster and Magnum decide. I don't blame them, unfortunately. They fall straight into SHEDULES' waiting hands. That is 7-6. And with the pistol under their belt, Mech are on track to equalize this at least.
And Nats is a master of positioning. I think that's probably his best quality, and considering he's got some of the best aim of anyone in the game, to say that something is better is it's pretty tough, but it's just the way that he maneuvers and isolates those duels. He's being rushed down by multiple players. It doesn't give them a chance to actually just push him off of the site, because again, if they get the site, the flank becomes fairly worthless. The other positions they have are not going to be as strong with the plant down. Instead, well, he's managed to basically win them the round, and 7-6, Mech come back in. And this is what they've been doing recently. They've been going heavy on these rifles, trying to reduce the amount that can be earned by FNATIC, be it in ultimate orbs. But it does mean if they lose a couple of players here, it's a hell of a lot more costly.
Well, that's it. As always, the risk reward is there. And some of the problems you're going to see if you have to play retake up against these pistols.
Excuse me?
That's quite a bit of damage. Playing retake against these pistols is going to be pretty tough. And then you look at the Cypher setup. They've given FNATIC a lot of space. And the thing is, sure, we saw this from FNATIC. I think even just round 2, same situation or very similar. They had that Cypher setup to play back into the site. They had an idea. They had their ultimates. It was round 3, actually. Excuse me. Right now, we're in a position where somebody needs to show up on Mech on the way back in, and they've done exactly that. 2 quick kills, and now the objective of the game, really, don't lose any more of these rifles. They've lost 2 players now. Anything else would be great for FNATIC.
Oh, he's actually still got an aftershock. It's just whether he's going to actually use it here, and, well, that player's going to take a hell of a lot of damage, but will survive. It's still not great. Like Speci has said, they invested mostly into rifles here, and they've actually come out with one of their Spectres still intact on Defo. So, I'm curious to see if we're just going
to play against, but pretty much every round on that defense, I expect you to push somewhere. You've got to take control, right? And for FNATIC, it was Dish. For Mech, we've yet to figure out where that's going to be.
Well, it seems they are going to be playing this one as somewhat of a bonus, so it leaves both Chronicle and Redguard with just pistols in hand. I'll say just pistols, though we've already seen Chronicle pull off some miracles with that weapon. The fact is, though, again, it's a bonus. This is where FNATIC have a hell of a lot more to lose, and you can see that they're mostly just going to be gathering up as a squad. There's still going to be aggression, though. Like, main has already been taken over by that defensive side, and they're still trying to spot over into Arcade and maybe even into Dish to see if they can get any information from it. The problem is, I feel like once Chronicle has the information, it might be too late.
Yeah, from that position, standing out in the open, you are dead instantly. Maybe you get a kill, but there will be no say over controlling that site. Backing out, playing the retake. It's the right call for Mech. That should give FNATIC a nice, easy play in towards the site. You can see smokes going down, utility in play. And really all that util, it comes to nothing. It does get... Oh, that was a risky play. I mean, it's not like the man's got a silenced weapon. They can see exactly where those bullets are coming from.
It's going to be so tough to get back into this one for Mech. They've at least got some utility to play with, at least an initial trade. That is a rifle potentially picked back up. Actually, they've managed to catch Durka getting aggressive as well. Now, the remaining 3 players are all playing from that dish area, and now they have their information. They can take the site for free. Now, they will have themselves some afterplant utility. You could see it already dropping, and with an aftershock in combination and a Molotov just before it, I think they've already bought enough time. FNATIC are always going to be the masters of the afterplant. That shot from SHEDULES was disgusting, but hey, I don't think FNATIC will mind too much. They've got themselves the round.
Yeah, it might seem weird, right, having that orb up and the post-plant util, but Boaster's realizing at that point they've used their snake bites, they've used their molly. His orb is pretty much worthless at that point, so... And his, I think his toxins were about to run out, so he's just trying to catch a few of them, leaving the site, make it a bit more costly. And even though he goes down, that round is more than worthwhile. I love that post-plant setup, man. That's not something we've really seen. I even remember hearing people say something like lineups don't work on this map. I don't know who said that, but yeah. Well, when it comes to this, I didn't disagree. When it comes to this A site, you don't actually get to see post-plant setups all that often. And if you do, I think any post-plant setups we've seen on this map,
it's normally main.
For the most part, being pretty two-dimensional. Yeah, they're like main. They're, you know, they're horizontal snake bites, let's say.
Yeah.
It's not these huge time delay arcs. Like, you think about it there. Mystic, he fires off that molly, and it's a good couple seconds before that's going to land that he's running around doing stuff. He can go fight you, and then a molly goes and stops you defusing. It's so valuable. And seeing them pull that out this early, well, that's worrying on the attack for what FNATIC can do.
This is where we see the pace change. You've got all of that utility available. The jump through Durka's going to be shut out, and the spam almost manages to kill off a second. SHEDULES has locked that position down, but Defo's caught by Mystic. Leaves himself wide open and gives them the space now to try and challenge onto the site.
And they're going to start to close the distance. This is a big play for SHEDULES. If he can get one more, it would have been huge, or even just stay alive. But there is too much pressure applied.
30 seconds
FNATIC
left.
had him surrounded. It's still to get that spike planted. I think it's going to be attempted. At least it was. With Boaster down, though, that becomes very difficult. Mystic stuck on the site, being pushed out by utility. It hasn't actually reached him. He's still good in the corner. 23 health with a spam coming through. And now just 10 seconds left. Brave Ab has to run on into the site with 5 HP. He'll recover the spike, but can he even get it planted? Just 1 bullet needed. 4 seconds left. He's got to take this fight now or never. And it won't be found. Nats has just about slipped away. 8-8 we go for Mech as they equalize things yet again.
Yeah, much closer than I thought it was going to be towards the end, especially. Like, Mystic was in an impossible scenario, still manages to get a wallbang kill, and then Brave even getting one. I think he actually got dinked through, like, the tiniest corner and hit for, like, 145 off a Vandal. I don't really know how, but, yeah, he was on his last legs for pretty much the entirety of that round. Still, though, for Mech, this is a perfect scenario. They have done enough damage to the economy of FNATIC that their purchase is going to suck. However, I wonder if this is going to be another spot where they just go for a really explosive play off the back of those stims, and well, SHEDULES is having none of it.
And the bind coming up next. It's such a risky map too between these two teams. My God. With 8-8 right here and now, it's all on the line. It's anyone's game. FNATIC on the attack. They look for the A site yet again. We can see them slowed out by that wall. They're stopped for a moment. They're trying to allow some space for Magnum to maybe pick up 1 or 2. As he's moving in towards the B site, probably going to pop up that wall as well and just make things that little bit more convincing for this to be a B play. But the rotations aren't coming. Mech are sat here in position, and here comes the Viper util. That's going to give away the fact that this is an A play.
Oh, again, quick after play. It's so pretty just to watch with the poison orb down, the quick blast back after plant. It almost looks too easy, but I feel like that was by design. It was allowed to happen by Mech, and instead, you're going to watch that space be taken. What? The right click Mystics are supposed to be nerfed. It's not meant to work like that, and already you can see the afterplan utility. They're trying to do the same again. Nats knows he has to push this, and he's at least got rid of the aftershock. That will buy them a few extra seconds, but again, that snakebite is there. Boaster now down, and look how far away he is, just waiting with that orbital strike, just gonna burn the clock down even further, just wasting as much time as they can. But it looks like there will still be enough to go for this defusal. It's gonna be done. I don't think there's anything Mystic can do about it. It is so damn close to being a perfect round from FNATIC on the eco, but Mech just about get it done.
22 HP left on Chronicle while he's defusing. If that isn't a classic that's playing inside a main, round is over. Or inside defender spawn. That game is completely over at that point. If you swap the weapons, if Mystic didn't have the rifle there, I mean, there's so many things that could have happened in the moment to give FNATIC that win.
Aftershock being
Aftershock
left,
stays
like
online.
Nats killed him. It like
Orbital strike
their
delayed
setup
another
is
second
so
or two.
disgusting, by the way. Wing it, but none of them have been as successful as this.
Oh my, hello, we're right on into the action. Defo's taking down Mystic inside their spawn. He's on top of that box before the barriers have even gone up. That is unbelievable. Start out here with a showstopper for Durka, trying to seize back that space. Default is going to be the prime spot for that, and well, the Boombot made it that little bit easier. Midnight Nats, sweet dreams. We're back in M3C's favor. Mech putting a 4v3 on the board now. As this plant comes down, things are going to be tough for FNATIC to hold on to control.
Oh, the ults, though. That gets them the Viper's Pit online. They also have a Rolling Thunder to try and hold them back. That was attempted to use to stop Defo getting anything from this, and actually will. If he shot just a second earlier, he had a freebie. SHEDULES, though, comes back with 2. And now it's left all onto Boaster. A 1 versus 4. He's within his own Viper's Pit. He's trying to spot where these remaining players are. You can see the spam. He'll take the first, though. Chronicle already gone, and he might have just masked the sound by being able to drop down. He's going to hear all of their own footsteps, and it's just spamming within the smoke. Brings it down to 1, and Boaster clutches the 1 versus 4. Unbelievable.
That one's going to need a moment. That one is going to need a moment. If we're not having a pause after that, reset Boaster's heart rate. This guy who we already discussed, he's not the guy you expect to come in and win these clutches. Christ, I saw Nuke you win a clutch in this sort of scenario, and it wasn't even half as ridiculous. His cam is amazing. Can we get a replay of just his cam? I don't know if that's possible, but if it is, I want it so much. He's almost fallen off his chair, and I completely understand why. That was just disgusting.
I feel like he did almost all of that off of just like muzzle flares.
Yeah. Vandals, man.
Look like.
Vandals, yeah, you come into Viper's world with a Vandal, that's what you get. Now, Durka's, you know, he's hoping that Nats is an idiot, essentially, that the Nats would stand on the same spot that he has, that he just did last round when he got Boombot and then showstoppered. Surprisingly, he moved. But the fact that he moved, sure, it means a Boombot and nade doesn't do any damage or anything like that. But it's got FNATIC the site for free. And this is a team that likes to play post-plant from Dish. Okay, they're going to see the wall breaking. They're going to hear it at least. They're going to know there's a player coming behind them unless they're distracted in this push forward. Around the orbital strike, Defo catches Durka. And now Magnum, well, he's got to be huge on this flank. If they don't know that he's here, that could completely change the tide of the game, but well, it might not. There's just too many players to deal with here. The Molly's down, though, to stop that defuse. SHEDULES has gone to it, and Magnum's got a double. Another round for FNATIC. An incredible clutch. This guy ran behind them on Dish and had to knife the wall while they were at the Dish with 3 players. But Tom, the timing was so perfect. He was knifing the wall as they were blast packing onto site, orbital striking and rolling thunder. Like, they heard him knife it, but they didn't realize because they were so busy pushing. That's ridiculous.
I think Mystic's Molotov might actually be the MVP of this entire map.
Yeah,
just with how much time it's actually wasted. Because I don't even know if they had that, even if Magnum wasn't there. Like, I genuinely think that Molotov might have still won them the round. So it's actually absurd how much they're actually able to do with with this Molotov in combination with everything they have on Viper. It's grotesque and fun. Mech again, they look like they were in a stellar spot to win a round. That's back-to-back rounds that, if anything, should have been theirs. It's normally them doing this to other teams. FNATIC showing that depth within the roster still. They've got to be careful here, though, because those pistols, well, they've already lost a round to this earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Mech and Frenzies, man. They just took down Durka and Brave Af, but Durka tried to blast back out. I think he just got caught on his teammate on the way. Unfortunate series of events. This is starting to look ridiculous, man. Has Magnum gone down as well? Like, Mystic was hovering the orbital strike, but not now. Not in a 2v4. And they're even running into the 3 stacked site. This is where Mech have all their players. This is where FNATIC, Tom, constantly played retake. They gave up this space. Maybe they thought versus the pistols they'd have as easy of a time as Mech did on their attack pushing out onto A. But this is, well, clearly not the case. And if they're expecting there to be 3 players here as they push forward, I mean, they know there's one on the right. Chronicle's probably going to catch them off guard. Well, the Molly will at least give it away, but there's 10 seconds left. Round's over. No way to get to sight, and certainly not with a few bullets to the head.
Only Mech could lose the 2 rounds they just did, and then just win with pistols. Like everybody else,
make it look easy with pistols.
Oh, we've just let the game go. It's over. It's all gone wrong. I can't believe it's happened. And Mech are like, pistols? I love pistols, and they just managed to win it out. Makes absolutely no sense. I don't know how they've done it, and it means that we're back 10 to 10, evened up. I will say as well, we've not even finished the map. This is the best map of Fracture I've ever watched. It's not even close.
Man, I'm just so happy. You know, you come into these days, you expect close games. There's nothing worse than just having those stomps. Okay, 2 players going to be spotted towards Dish right away. Mech taking aggressive control, but FNATIC, despite knowing there's 2 players here, they're not deterred. Maybe they should have been. Good nade. That's taking Durka down too, and they're still going. Oh God, just not stopping, rushing it down, and well, it has worked very well indeed. That flash even to close things out. 7 HP after shock up, and sure, Neffo goes down in the end, but who gives a damn? That's 11 to 10, and very nicely done. You know, the only rounds where Mech have looked better than that is when they've got pistols in their hands. So, you know, fair play. That's exactly what you want in the late game, the home stretch.
Come in here after having some shakier performances on this map and to take down FNATIC, who have clearly done a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah, this is a map that coming into it, I would favor FNATIC. And the next, I would say, is being somewhat of an even territory, right? I really don't know who to call coming into Bind. All I can say is I want to see it. I want to see that map happen. It's going to be fun, but when it comes to right here on Fracture, I didn't think Mech would do this well. And with some of the rounds they've whiffed out on as well, I mean, this game is already closed out. They've had to rely on pistol rounds winning them out. They are legging it into this site. Pace is huge. The orbital strike still leaves Nats comfortable, and he tanks the orbital strike to take Mystic down. A poetic trade. Showstopper behind. It's too late. They've gotten away.
It was close, and again, an afterpart looking likely. Magnum's managed to lurk through the smoke, and this also gives them the information. Boaster spots the whole squad trying to wrap around in the underground, and it leaves just 2 standing now. Defo, Shados to try and clutch this one out. Economy-wise, they're good. They might as well go for something here, even if it's just for the ultimate orbs. Try and find those extra kills and make it costly for FNATIC, but no one is showing a thing.
Yeah, FNATIC just staying tucked in. They're making the right call on this one. Run that clock all the way down. Look at Mech just running out into all these angles. They don't have the info to play with here. 1 versus 2 for Shados. He'll move up into heaven and catch 1. And now he can start this defuse. The wall is down.
Oh, no time.
There's no time. Yeah, they've got this one in the bag. Magnum realized that he was just running for his life. 11 to 11 we go. Tied up yet again, Tom. And this map has delivered exactly as we hoped, but also just so much more. I hoped for a close game. Oh, if we got a 13-10 out of it, I would have been happy. But this entire map has been back and forth. We've got 8-8.
Spike down.
We've got 9-9, 10-10. We're just keep it going. I love it.
We could be here a while if it keeps going like that.
And I'm fine with that, Tom. I'm fine with that. Both games today as well are unbelievable. But anyone's going to have a hard time following this, I'll tell you that.
That is true. Again, 11-11, early dish control. It's something, as said, that Mech love to fight for this part of the map. one of the positions they want to deny, especially more so against FNATIC. Like, considering the after plants that they've had from this spot, don't let them have it. Instead, though, FNATIC have started challenging in early blast pack to take down any trips and to gain that space for free. There's a flash ready to be popped. However, Nats is completely blind within the site. And while Chronicle, there's little he could do here. It's going to be an after plant. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Well, Defo wants to at least object to that. Luckily, they haven't planted on the back of the site. That nade would have been fantastic otherwise. So, positioning for this retake into a Viper's pit. Very little to work with. This is a tough round for Mech, one that they want to commit to. Magnum has been caught on this site. That damage is good, but the reality is 2v5 Viper's pit.
Yeah.
Spike planted time against you. Still post-plant setup. Remember, you don't know how much they still have to work with. Sure, you're expecting you can take down the Viper, but what about your breach? What about your even the showstopper and stuff online? Like, man, there's way too much to get back into this site. Mech take one glance at that scoreboard. They realize, goddamn, we cannot fight this. We've got to run. But that actually puts them in a pretty bleak situation for this final round as well, Tom, because they've still got that showstopper to face off up against. And I'm not sure where the money is for the rest of the Mech players. I know that a couple of them went down to their last dime, and yeah, it's going to be pretty tough for them. And what's heartbreaking here, Tom, actually ridiculously heartbreaking, one away from Rolling Thunder, Orbital Strike, Rez. All right, not even gonna try with Nats,
you could say they're probably going to challenge for an orb here. The main worry for me, though, is over the last few rounds, they basically really challenged in towards Dish to just basically deny FNATIC that control. FNATIC started hitting fast in towards this B site, so now they're going to stack up onto the B site. I was going to question whether or not FNATIC would still fight for this. It looks like they definitely are.
Yeah, the Spike's actually the one leading the charge as well. Luckily, he took behind that box. He won't be spotted. And Dirk is on for 3. Oh, he'll do it himself. Running it down on this B site. Should be nice and easy. Nats is still around, bulldog in hand, caught behind some smokes inside a snake fight, and not the prettiest of fights we've ever seen. The Boombot was there to close it out either way. Chronicle, he'd love to have an orbital strike here, but even then, Tom, how much would that really help? This round is looking done. This map is looking to go the same way. It's been one hell of a fight for FNATIC. And just one kill away from taking that step towards Reykjavik. They'll have 2 maps. Try and close it out and then book their spot over there.
Chronicle's giving this a go, but okay, he's managed to get himself an orbital strike. He's going to try and deny at least a little bit of extra space, but there's so many angles to hold, and of course it's going to be Durka closing things out with a 4K. It is FNATIC.